Hey guys, Thomas from Team Sakuraso here, coming at you guys with 5 Hobby League cards that you guys need right now. If you guys don't know what a Hobby League card is, I'll explain that very quickly. It is a rarity that Konami despises because back when Upper Deck had control of Yu-Gi-Oh!, they decided to make a new rarity. And how it was distributed is when you went to a local tournament, this was about over a decade ago, at this point actually, they would give you a random Hobby League card. By giving every player who entered, round 1, they would pass them along. This is how it happened, at least at my locals. And you would flip it over, and sometimes you get a Hobby League card like Giant Rapid. Sometimes you get like a really awesome Hobby League card. And it just depended, right? It was always very random. A lot of people actually did not care for the cards at the time. Some people absolutely loved them. Some people really despised them. It was very hit or miss with these cards. They're currently out of print, so there's barely any Hobby League cards out there, because whatever we have out there is whatever we have there, since Konami, when Upper Deck ended up leaving, Konami didn't want them anymore. They decided that you were not allowed to play Hobby League cards in legal tournaments. So these are purely for collectible purposes. However, if you're playing casual GOAT format, you will see players actually have Hobby League in their deck, because for certain cards, it was seen as a higher rarity of a certain card, along with usually people who play GOAT format, they're not playing in big tournaments or anything like that. They're not trying to cheat as well, since Hobby League cards can technically be weighed, although it's kind of hard to do so. They still can somewhat be stacked. Most people don't tend to do that. So with all the introductions out of the way, if you guys can smash that like button if you like these kinds of videos, that would be great. Subscribe if you're not already. If you're buying any cards off TCG Player, please use my affiliate link down in the description below. Helps out the channel to no additional cost to you. And we're going to get right into it. So the first card I have to pick up is actually Graceful Charity. Now these are about $31 going up to $33, but the reason why I'm telling you guys this is it is very heavily used in GOAT format as a one-of, because it was limited at the time of GOAT format. And it allows you to draw 3 cards and discard 2, aka it allows you to dump whatever you don't need into the graveyard, get new cards, and it allows you to put stuff in the graveyard that you want there as well. This is very popular among a lot of decks, especially if they want to make Blackluster Soldier turn 1, or well, turn 2, because it's better to make that card going second. This was a very good card to use. It's basically used religiously in every GOAT format deck that I've come across. And I suggest that you guys grab this card not only for that reason, but it is a very popular banned card, because a lot of old school collectors love Graceful Charity about how it was used in the old Yu-Gi-Oh! When it was used. So it has a special place in people's hearts. Card looks absolutely beautiful, and for the third and final reason, it goes from 33 to 60 very, very quickly. There's no real big wall for Graceful Charity Hobby League. If it gets bought out, I'm going to assume that the same thing is going to happen like it did for Rhoda, where when Rhoda Reinforcement of the Army Hobby League got bought out, it went up from a $22-25 card to $125. And while it's calmed down somewhat, the price increases here to stay, because a lot of people and a lot of vendors, they don't have Hobby League cards they can just put up instantly, because it's a very hard card to get. So I will get your Graceful Charities while you can. Now the second card to have for your 5 cards I had for GOAT, well, not got a GOAT format, although a lot of them are going to follow GOAT format, but for Hobby League is Exiled Force. Now Exiled Force is a $10 to $11 Hobby League, and you tribute this card to destroy a face-up monster your opponent controls. Now, you guys are probably wondering, that doesn't really sound good. Why is that? Well, in GOAT format, when this was played in Limited, you were able to normal summon this and tribute it, and get rid of something like a Blackluster Soldier or any other problematic card that your opponent has. Sometimes as well you can summon it, run something over as well that was a lot smaller, and then tribute to destroy it. It was basically a 1-for-1, and it would get rid of problematic type cards, maybe cards that won't allow you to play, or cards that you really can't get rid of. So it's used as a one-of to get rid of specific cards. $10-11 is not bad. I think this can go up to about $15-20 a card. I would only suggest, unlike Graceful Charity, where I would probably say get at least 1 to 3, if not more. For Exile Force, I think getting 1 or 2 copies is probably fine. I don't expect this card to go straight to the moon anytime soon, but I do see it gradually increasing over time. So I'd probably get a copy or 2, but unless you have a lot of faith in this card, probably 3, especially if you want 1 or 2 for yourself. And yeah, third card to have from Hobby League is actually Trap Hole. Now what Trap Hole does is when your opponent normal summons or flip summons a monster with attack of 1,000 or more, you destroy that monster. So what this card was basically able to do is you'd set it and you would trade 1 for 1 for one of your opponent's cards. For example, if they summon their own Exile Force before tributing, because it wasn't like a quick effect, let's say you had a Blackluster Soldier, you would trap hold the Exiled Force, so that way it would not tribute itself to destroy the Blackluster Soldier. This was used for other certain cards as well that could be problematic, like Kyoko the Ghost Destroyer, and other types of cards used in GOAT format, or if they would maybe say normal summon like a Mystic Tomato, something along those lines, or a big normal beat stick. I believe Mad Dog of Darkness is a good example. I bet Battle Ox is as well. The point is, this was a very good card to have because it would basically just be a 1-for-1 and waste your opponent's normal summon, which is really good because putting monsters on board slowly was a strategy that a lot of people used not only in GOAT format but old eras of Yu-Gi-Oh! Trap Hole is not exclusive to GOAT format, just like a few of these other picks are not as well. Trap Hole is used quite often throughout formats before and after GOAT format, so I would grab your copies while you can. For only $7, I would highly recommend a playset or possibly 2 playsets depending on how you're feeling, because I could definitely see this card gradually hitting the $15 to $16 mark, and if you bought them at $7, you're making about a $9 profit each, so that's actually really, really good. The fourth card that I have for these for the Hobby League is actually Kyoko the Ghost Destroyer. Now, Kyoko actually was not used as heavily in GOAT format as people actually think it was. While it certainly was used, sometimes it wouldn't be as good. Yes, you could banish certain targets for Blackluster Soldier, Chaos Sorcerer, and other decks. It was especially used in the side deck for certain decks that would banish as well, since neither player could banish cards. Every time it inflicts battle damage as well, you'll be able to remove 2 cards from your opponent's graveyard, which would actually really help, again, towards monster deck type decks. Kyoko was an instant side, and while it has its time in GOAT format and other certain formats, it wasn't used religiously, so I recommend getting about 3 copies or less. I think a playset of this is fine. Remember that every copy of Kyoko the Ghost Destroyer is worth money. Even the worst common, like a mod play common, from the worst set to get it is $1, so Kyoko will always have value. Get this version because it's a very rare version to get that cannot be replenished on the market. So if you're in the mood for Kyokos, get Hobby Leagues while you can. And the last and final card is Heavy Storm, which is, fun fact by the way, this was, I think, the first Hobby League card I got. I think I was like maybe 10 or something, was like Red Gadget or something, and the guy next to me wanted that instead of his Heavy Storm, so I ended up trading for the Heavy Storm because I'm like, oh, I like this card a lot more too, you know, I can't, you know, it's really iconic, you know, as a kid. I ended up keeping my Hobby League Heavy Storm. This was like a $2 card at the time because at least it had some, you know, it was used for older format even though it was banned and all that. Now it's about $26 for lightly paid. I believe this card go to $50, $60 because of how iconic it is, how many formats. It's basically used in every format that was legal in as well, which I believe they also brought it back for other formats after 2005, 2006 as well. I think they brought it back for one ban list. I'm not too sure at the time, maybe 1 or 2. So I would definitely grab your copies while you can of Hobby League Heavy Storm. It's always going to be religiously used if we ever have it legal again in the TCG with Harpy's Feather Duster and Lightning Storm and all that. I don't see Heavy Storm really being a card that's going to stay on the ban list for very long. So I would get your copies while you can because every version of Heavy Storm will get bought out at that time. As a side tip as well, even though it's not Hobby League related, I would highly recommend you guys get Legendary Collection 2 Hobby League, not Hobby League cards, but Heavy Storms while you can because they're about $2 to $3 a piece. That's actually quite cheap. If this card ever comes back, you have a really old printing that's a really clean ultra rare as well. So I would definitely recommend grabbing those copies. But with that being said, guys, leave a like if you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of Hobby Leagues as well. I'm actually really interested to hear your guys' opinion since a lot of people don't know that Hobby League exists or they've rarely ever seen a Hobby League card in their life. So I want to know what you guys think of Hobby League. Do you guys like it? Do you guys not like it? Do you guys have any experiences with getting Hobby League cards? Because I really want to hear those in the comment section below. If you guys can smash that like button and subscribe, that'd be great. If you're buying any of these cards off TCG Player, please use the affiliate link down in the description below. Helps out the channel to no additional cost to you. Consider checking out my Instagram, Twitter, all my socials in the description below. And I will see you guys in the next Market Watch or video. Peace.